welcome you to Huntington, West Virginia, here at the Henderson Center, where tonight we've got Conference USA basketball between the visiting Western Kentucky Hilltoppers and the hometown Marshall Thundering Herd. And alongside former Louisville star David Padgett, I'm Jordan Burnfield. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, it's March, and that means it's time to start thinking about conference tournaments. Conference USA's tournament is next week, David. And right now, Western Kentucky, with a couple of wins against Marshall this week, could get that 2 seed in the east side of the division.
Well, when you turn that calendar to March, every game takes on a whole new meaning of itself. And tonight is no different for Western Kentucky, trying desperately to secure that 2 spot in their side of Conference USA, which guarantees that automatic first-round bye. They come in having won 7 of their last 8 games, so playing well, but they're going to need a good performance against a very talented Marshall team here tonight.
And here's how the Tops can get there for Rick Stansberry's club. If they win tonight against Marshall and then Florida Atlantic loses tomorrow, they clinch that 2 seed. Otherwise, they've got to sweep Marshall. They're playing them tonight and then playing them this weekend to close out the regular season in Conference USA. So that's what's on the line tonight. Opening tip, won by Western Kentucky, and away we go here from the Henderson Center. As David mentioned, this Western Kentucky team playing real good basketball of late. They've won 7 of 8. There's Josh Anderson, a 3. That's off target. The rebound comes to Marshall and Tavion Kinzu. Marshall team has won 3 of 5, but they're 11-18, 4-12 in conference play. And the senior Michael Byers on senior night cans a 3 to start it for the Herd.
And that's a great sign for Marshall, a team that has not shot the ball as well as they had anticipated coming into the season. They've shot it better as of late, but they're going to need guys like Byers and certain other guys, Andrew Taylor, to step up and make some threes. You got to anticipate that Western Kentucky is going to play a lot more zone than usual tonight, try to stay out of foul trouble. Hitting that early 3 is a great sign for the Thundering Herd.
There's Cameron Justice going by his defender for the bucket. Justice, the graduate senior, transferred into this program starting at IUPUI and then Vanderbilt. We'll talk more about Justice as the night goes on. Byers another 3, that's off target. And the rebound to Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky junking it up a little early, going a little triangle and 2 look there after the 2-3 zone the first possession. So Rick Stansberry down a man tonight with Darius Hamilton sidelines. He's going to have to try to do anything he can to try to get his team a win here tonight.
Darius George picks up the foul as you take a look at Rick Stansberry, who's now in year 6 with Western Kentucky, 120 wins, over 400 wins. As a Division I head coach, has done a great job with Western Kentucky. He's had this program rolling the last 6 years.
No question about it. And been down a couple guys as of late. Like we mentioned, Hamilton has missed last game, obviously sitting out tonight, so a little thin. Already thin to start on the season, so depth, certainly something to keep an eye on throughout this game.
There's Cameron Justice in the corner, wide open, cans a 3.
Yeah, breakdown there defensively by Marshall, miscommunication. 55 in red is not one of the guys you want to leave open. One of the best shooters, if not the best shooter on this Western Kentucky team. But Marshall getting off to a very good start, playing aggressive here early in this game as Abina Anachili-Killen knocks down that free throw line jump shot.
All knotted at 5 here early on in this one. The Thundering Herd, a team that we know can get down the court and score, but they're last in the conference in scoring defense as Davion McKnight puts that one in. Now Byers on the other end. That's knocked away by Jamarion Sharp. And if you're looking at Jamarion Sharp and saying that dude's tall, he is the tallest player in Division I basketball, 7'5". One of the guys that Dan D'Antoni is going to have to watch out for tonight. D'Antoni in his 8th year back at his alma mater coaching this Marshall team. Andrew Taylor, a nice move inside and gets it to go.
Not an easy shot there by Andrew Taylor. Knew he had to shoot it a little bit sooner. It's amazing. Jamarion Sharp, who we'll talk about more as the game goes on, second leading shot blocker in college basketball. But if you could count the amount of shots that he alters throughout the course of a game, as we see Western Kentucky and Luke Frampton from way downtown, but Jamarion Sharp really changes the game on the defensive end as much as anybody in college basketball, quite frankly.
This time Anachili-Killen trying to throw it down low for Kinsey, too strong in the pass. Out of bounds to Western There's Jamarion Sharp coming back down the floor. As David mentioned, second in D1 in total blocks, second in blocks per game, 4.5. You look at the percentage too, second in D1. And there's Sharp underneath, couldn't handle that one. It comes out to Anachili Killen. What I think is amazing about Jamarion Sharp too, he has more blocks on his own than 89% of the programs in Division I this year. I mean, that's kind of astonishing when you think about it.
Well, to be honest, I was a little surprised when I was looking at the stats and I saw he was second. Walker Kessler at Alabama, a terrific shot blocker in his own right, but Jamarion Sharp, he changes the way you have to play offensively against Western. You have to change your offensive philosophy to a certain extent because you're just not going to be able to score around the rim like you do against other teams because of his presence in there.
Davion McKnight, another smooth shot. He's got 4 early points. And on that last possession, you saw Obina Anachili Killen at the 3. I wonder, David, if he can come out and shoot the ball from deep, that could be a good thing for Marshall as Kinsey scores.
And Marshall doing a great job of being aggressive early. They're hitting that high post area, knocking down the jump shots. Anachili Killen, Kinsey that time. So they're still trying to get the ball in the lane. They're not going to settle for just jacking up threes from around the perimeter. They're still going to get the ball in the paint and try to do different things against Sharp.
Here's McKnight. No. Rebounded to Darius George, one of the seniors for Marshall. Taylor on the run. High over Sharp to score off the glass.
And that's the second time we've seen Taylor kind of get to that floater. He gets it off a little bit quicker than Sharp is anticipating, and it's worked so far 2 times for him off the glass that time with a nice touch.
Western Kentucky, 5 of its last 6 from the field. Marshall has made its last 4. We've seen some good pace offensively from both teams. And finally it comes to a timeout on the floor, but the Thundering Herd, the early advantage here at home on senior night in Huntington, 14-12 in favor of the Thundering Herd. So far, it's been a lot of good offense from both these teams. Last year when these 2 teams played, it was basically a 2-game series because of COVID with all the teams playing in those bunches. And last year, Western Kentucky got a sweep of Marshall at Diddle Arena. It was an 81-73 Western Kentucky win. They would then go on to win the Sunday game here in this building, 69-67. And for Western Kentucky to earn that number 2 seed on the east side of the bracket in the Conference USA Tournament, they're going to need another sweep of Marshall, potentially, unless they get help from FIU tomorrow and they can beat FAU. So Rick Stansbury's team trying to get back-to-back sweeps of this Marshall team, which is not an easy thing to do, but Western Kentucky has had some pretty good success against Marshall in the past, 20-12 all-time against the Herd. Jamarion Sharp, the rebound, the bucket, and the foul. Right out of the timeout, a foul on Byers, and Sharp will go to the line.
You know, it's not real easy, obviously, to block out someone who's 7'5", and that time, naturally, a lot of fans, opposing coaches say, hey, it's over the back, it's over the back. Well, when you're 7'5", as long as you're just going straight up in your plane, you have the right to the ball as much as anyone. And right there, you saw Jamarion Sharp just using that length and that wingspan to his advantage to tie this game up.
Jamarion Sharp being as tall as he is, there are some challenges that can go with that in terms of how he's going to be officiated. George on the second chance, no, he grabs the rebound. Think about a guy like Zach Edey, who's 7'4" at Purdue, the way that, you know, you watch the elbows come down anytime that there's a foul. That's an offensive foul on McKnight. Basket will not count. The first on McKnight. But Jamarion Sharp has been extremely impactful for his team, but being 7'5", you got to watch where your arms are at every moment.
Yeah, we see there, good job by Byers stepping in. Looked like he got his feet outside that circle, but yeah, it's just, you can't simulate it in practice if you're the opposing team. That's the most difficult part to me, is you can't simulate the rim protection that's in there. You see right there, perfect example, Tavion Kinsey thought he had a lane to the rim, but the shot was altered. He was able to get his offensive rebound, obviously, and knock down the jump shot. But until you go against it, it is just impossible to simulate. But I like Marshall's approach early. They're going in, they're taking it in there. They're not being afraid, they're being aggressive, they're taking it in there. They know they're going to get their shot blocks once in a while, but you still got to be aggressive.
McKnight the miss from the elbow, the rebound to Anachili Killen. Byers thought about the three, won't take it, and has it stripped away by McKnight. Out of bounds, it'll stay with Marshall. It was almost to us. You were ready for it, David. I saw it.
Hands are always ready. Now, if it's coming straight for you, you're on your own, I think. Sorry.
I don't know if that's good for either of us.
Collateral damage.
Yes. You don't know where that ball's going to ricochet. Here's Byers up over Sharp. Jamarion grabs the rebound. He doesn't even have to lift his arms over his head to rebound the basketball.
Well, it was interesting talking to Rick Stansberry, and I've watched Western Kentucky play quite a bit on TV this year. First time I've had a chance to see him in person. It's amazing how well he moves for someone that size. I mean, he moves extremely well, which is why I think, and Rick Stansberry thinks, that he's going to have a very good chance to play at that next level someday.
He is certainly someone to watch. Moves really well, 7'5". Such an outstanding rim protector for this Western Kentucky team. Western Kentucky started 5 of 6 from the field, 1 for their last 5 as they bring it down the floor here. McKnight in against the double, trying to get it inside. It's taken away and then taken right back by Anderson.
A really heads-up play there by Josh Anderson. Just anticipated the outlet pass there, was able to get that turnover back. But Marshall's switching everything early. They're trying to ice or down the ball screens to keep the ball. That time, Cameron Justice able to just knock down a little bit of an awkward shot. But Marshall's switching so far early, or at least over this last couple minutes, has bothered Western Kentucky a little bit offensively with their rhythm.
Justice, 7 early points for Western Kentucky. Here's Miladinovic. No, underneath. Kinsey grabs the rebound. Fall away good.
And anytime you're going against a great shot blocker, you always have extra opportunities for offensive rebounds because the shot blocker is always going after the shot, obviously, so you don't have to account for him on the backboard. And Marshall is taking advantage of that early with a couple offensive rebounds that they've been able to convert to baskets.
How about the baseline quickness right there from Cameron Justice? Now 9 first half points. Andrew Taylor a 3. Too strong the rebound, Anderson.
We knew coming in, both these teams offensively play with a lot of freedom. They certainly like to push the pace.
And Sharp throws it down with 2 hands.
A great pass there by Josh Anderson to trailing Sharp, who not going to give him a much higher percentage shot than that. But both these teams playing well offensively. You got to figure at some point something's got to give. Somebody's got to get a couple stops.
Kinsey for 3, no. Sharp high over everybody to grab the rebound. McKnight racing down the floor, lost the handle right to his teammate. Anderson will take the 3 and hits. Just how they drew it up, right?
That's exactly right. Good play, Coach.
Timeout on the floor.
Western Kentucky pushing the pace early. Josh Anderson with a great drop-off pass to Jamarion Sharp for the easy 2.
(23-18) Western Kentucky, the lead, 11-18 to go in the first half. Cameron Justice has 9 points so far for Western Kentucky. The fact that he's playing this year, pretty amazing for Western Kentucky. Here's a guy who started his career at IUPUI, then goes to Vanderbilt, has an injury-plagued year. So when he transferred to Western Kentucky, they wanted to get him a 5th year, but because he was coming off of an injury after playing 1 season at Western Kentucky, then COVID hit. He didn't know, should I come out and play for another year or should I just graduate? Decides, you know what, I'll stop playing basketball. Goes to get a job in the sales world, actually here in Huntington. And last year during the COVID season, ends up meeting up with Rick Stansberry while they were here playing Marshall. Says, hey, you know what, would love to come back to Western Kentucky, work on the staff, do something with you. So he comes back to Western Kentucky as a graduate assistant on the academic side for Rick Stansberry's club. And then when they saw that he can still really play, even though he hadn't played for a year, his son Noah was saying, hey, Dad, I think you should get Cameron Justice back out there. Cameron Justice goes and works out for Rick. Rick loved what he saw. Justice gets the waiver that they'd been applying for him. And ends up rejoining the team in early November, and now Cameron Justice is second on this team in scoring at 14.5 points per game. He plays almost 38 minutes a game. He's been a huge part of Western Kentucky's success in the 21-22 season.
Who says recruiting's hard? All you got to do is go look in your own staff and your pickup games in the middle of summer and say, hey, coach, our best shooter is playing right here in our pickup games and he's not on our roster. But no, an extremely unique story, needless to say. But he is having a terrific season. And it was interesting talking to Rick Stansberry. Cameron Justice's perspective of everything, being older, kind of stepping away from the game for a year. He's just in this to have fun, try to win some basketball games, and really enjoy the experience. And he is absolutely doing that as we see a great move and finish there by Davion McKnight. And Western Kentucky starting to click on all cylinders there offensively.
9-0 run for Western Kentucky. And here's something else with Cameron Justice, too. After he joins the team, he gets married. And so after he and his wife get married, they had a game the next day. So he had to drive 3 hours after their wedding to meet the team as a newly married man the next day, suits up and plays a college basketball game.
Some honeymoon, huh?
Honey, I don't think this is exactly what you had in mind, but
I'll make it up to you.
Yeah, we've got a game tomorrow, so I got to go play in it. Here's Tavion Kinsey. Missing the jumper there, pinballs around and comes out to Luke Frampton.
Western Kentucky's done a better job here over these last couple possessions of limiting Marshall to one shot. Marshall had 6 points early off offensive rebounds, but the last couple times down, Western Kentucky's done a better job of securing that rebound.
Marshall 8 empty trips in the last 9 possessions. And now here's Butts underneath. That's blocked by Sharenitz. Here's Anachili Killen from the wing for 3.
Western Kentucky just a little slow that time in transition, getting back into their zone. And Obina Anachili Killen, not a great three-point shooter, but certainly capable. And Dan D'Antoni is extremely comfortable with him shooting that shot. And if they're going to leave him open, he's going to make Western Kentucky pay.
And he's hit a couple tonight. Here is Brashear for 3, missing that one. Now on a second chance, gets inside. Anachili Killen says no. As good a shot blocker as we mentioned Sharp is, Obina Anachili Killen 9th in the country in total blocks, 14th in blocks per game.
You can see the athletic display there just coming off the ball. Great timing. At only 6'8", you don't think, he's a great shot blocker, top 10 in the country, but his timing is so good, and you can see he was on full display right there. A great block to save a basket.
There's McKnight trying to navigate into the paint, stops on the elbow, hits the jumper.
Davion McKnight has had an amazing sophomore season for this Hilltoppers team. And that right there, still working on his three-point shot. It's a work in progress, but his mid-range game has come a long way and is one of the main reasons why he is leading this Western Kentucky team in scoring.
Anachili Killen a miss on the 3. Then Miladinovich had it blocked by Butts. It's out of bounds off of Marshall. And it'll be Western Kentucky basketball.
A little confusion here. The horn blew after the ball had already been inbounded, but nonetheless, they're going to get the substitutions in here.
Yeah, Anachili Killen will head to the bench for Marshall. But you see Jamarion Sharp and that man, Obina Anachili Killen, 2 of the taller players in the country. Sharp, the tallest in the nation, and these 2 guys, 2 of the premier shot blockers, not only in Conference USA, but in America.
Where you see the comparison there, you see 2.8 next to 4.5, and you think, oh, that's not that great. But 2.8 blocks a game is a very, very high number. It just goes to show, though, how impressive the numbers are for Jamarion Sharp.
Yeah, and for a guy 6'8", as you said, not so easy. And the fact that he's almost at 3 blocks a game is incredibly impressive. And you see those long arms on Sharp. Try getting your shot over that guy. Not so easy for the rest of the country. Here's Kinsey. Works his way out to Early. Kinsey the up fake, has to throw it back. Early for 3 from the wing, no. Tipped over to Frampton, and now Western Kentucky will bring it across with Justice.
Western Kentucky doing a better job matching up in the middle of that zone. Marshall's trying to put Tavion Kinsey in there, who's a great mid-range player, can get to the rim, can shoot over smaller defenders, but Marshall matching up with a bigger, Western Kentucky matching up with a bigger guy. as we see Justice there again continuing his hot start, but Western Kentucky's got Marshall a little bit out of the rhythm here over these last couple minutes on the offensive end.
How did Justice get that one over two defenders? Now Kinsey feeds down low, and a foul as Miladinovich was trying to get to the bucket, but he's fouled by Butts.
Cameron Justice off to a great start here early in this first half. Knocking down threes, but also showing the ability to get to the rim and finish.
(29-21) Western Kentucky the lead. It is senior night here in Huntington. Michael Byers getting a wave to the crowd. Darius George as well for the Thundering Herd. And finally, Tavion Kinsey, who potentially could have another year at Marshall, but academically is a senior, so he was honored tonight for his senior night. Those three have had excellent careers. Darius George, every game that he plays, continues to set the games played record here at Marshall. Michael Byers, 107 games himself. We mentioned Kinsey may have one more year ahead of him at Marshall potentially, but has been one of the best scorers in Conference USA all year, averaging almost 19 points per game. A prolific offensive player. As Goran Miladinovich at the free throw line here for the Thundering Herd. Western Kentucky on a 13-3 run. And both are missed, and then Kinsey has it stripped by Justice. No look to the corner. Frampton misses the three, and Byers loses the rebound to Anderson, who scores.
Western Kentucky giving Marshall a little taste of their own medicine there on the offensive backboard. A good transition three there by Luke Frampton, but Josh Anderson 2 or 3 times so far in this first half has kind of just been in the right spot at the right time. And that time found himself open on the offensive rebound and just knocked it down.
Byers to the corner. He's got an open three, but from way out, misses that one. Miladinovich grabs the rebound and then hands it right to Sharp. Those big arms of Jamarion Sharp taking it away from Miladinovich.
And Marshall, a team that's obviously very comfortable shooting the ball from the perimeter. They haven't been a great three-point shooting team, but struggling here so far in this first half. Only 3 of 11, but they only have 8 points in the paint compared to Western Kentucky's 16. So that single-handedly has been the difference so far here over the first 13 or so minutes.
5 to shoot now for Western Kentucky. Justice, a 3 from the wing. No. Sharp tries to grab the rebound over multiple players. Now the jump ball, possession arrow will send it to Marshall.
Marion Sharp gets up a little gimpy there. Have to keep an eye on that, see if he's okay.
Saturday on ESPN and the app, these 3 games highlight another big day of college basketball last weekend of the regular season. Crucial game in the SEC. 14th ranked Arkansas, number 13 Tennessee, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. 4 Eastern, number 6 Kansas take on number 21 Texas at Allen Fieldhouse. Then not just Carolina Duke. Coach K's final game at Cameron. That one starts 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Check it out. And check out Jamarion Sharp flushing that one down.
And that was all set up by Cam Justice, not settling for the 3. Great shot fake, got in the lane. And when you're 7-5, that is an offense in and of itself. You get in the lane, you just throw it up anywhere near the rim. He's got the ability to go up and get it. And it's not, defensively, it's very difficult to prepare for that. But also, how do you stop it? I mean, it's one of those things you can say, okay, we got to do this, we got to do that. But again, you just can't simulate that. I mean, that is 3 or 4 feet away from the rim, but that really and truly is an offense in and of itself that has worked very well for Western Kentucky throughout the entire season.
You think about Western Kentucky and the luxury that they have had with big men over the last few years. Charles Bassey playing in the NBA for the Sixers now is here as Taylor knocks down a 3. And now you transition to Jamarion Sharp, who's a different player, but still very difficult to step.
Yeah, Charles Bassey was a great low post, back to the basket type scorer, very versatile, but Jamarion Sharp's not quite there yet. They'll get him there with the summer coming up, another season to play next year. Just got to work on that feel and that comfort, but just can't say enough about the development he's made in such a short period of time. He hasn't even been on Western Kentucky's campus for a full year yet. So very, very impressive.
Anderson under the shot clock, misses the three. Taylor grabs the rebound. And the Chili killing against Sharp will work it back out. They get it to him on the elbow, misses the jumper. Justice flies in for the board. Anderson spins around early, can't finish underneath. McKnight hands to Sharp, yes, and the foul.
A great job there by Western Kentucky just staying with the play. Josh Anderson made a great move. Might have gotten fouled, no call nonetheless. Davion McKnight battles for the offensive rebound. We take a look here. Josh Anderson, good spin move. Just lost it going up. But Davion McKnight just quicker to the basketball. Great no-look pass, and Sharp able to finish and chance for the three-point play.
Foul on Anna Chili Killen, who's first. And missed by Sharp at the free throw line. Gives it right back to Marshall. Byers wanted to go up with that shot, didn't do it. And now 10 to shoot. Taylor with 3 to shoot. The three, too strong. Rebound Anderson. Anderson on the move to the cup.
Great finish there by Josh Anderson. That's why Western Kentucky is such a dangerous team. They have the ability to make shots from the perimeter. You've got a 7'5" guy in there you can just throw the ball up to at the rim for an easy lob. But guys like Josh Anderson, Jarius Hamilton, who's not playing tonight like we mentioned, are so good at getting to the rim and finishing. They really put so much pressure on your defense because they look to drive and attack the rim so much. Hence the reason why they're one of the best free throw shooting and leading free throw shooting teams in the country.
McKnight lost the handle, loose on the floor. Both teams fighting for it, and now a jump ball is called. I don't know if we're going to get any extracurriculars here. Possession arrow is favoring Western Kentucky. Tavion Kinsey is saying a timeout was called. We'll sort it out when we come back. 37-26, 3:22 to go in the half. (37-26) the score, 3:22 left in the half. Before we went to the break, both teams were going for the ball after McKnight lost the handle on it. Marshall is trying to say that they got a timeout called. It was not a timeout. According to the officials, they're saying that it's a jump ball and it'll be Western Kentucky's ball. You can see at the bottom there, David Early is sort of trying to make that call. I don't know if the officials could even see that or if that was actually a timeout call there, if he got the hands together. Kind of a tough play.
Good hustle by both teams. David Early, clearly you could see his intention was to call timeout, but in real time at full speed, the officials 9 times out of 10 are just going to call jump ball to stop the play. But nonetheless, Western Kentucky keeps it here, and with an 11-point lead, they seem to be rolling pretty good here on offense. See if Marshall might switch it up defensively, try something different.
Marshall has not scored in the last about 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and Sharp off the feet from Justice fires it through.
2 Marshall defenders just staying with Justice that time. Nobody accounted for Jamarion Sharp rolling down right down the middle of the lane, and you can see why number 33 is such an influence on both ends of the court for Western Kentucky.
And a Chili Killen misses the three. The rebound comes out to Sharp, and now here comes McKnight.
Western Kentucky with a 24-8 lead, points in the paint so far here in this first half. So even though they've got guys like Frampton and Justice' ability to shoot the three, they do not settle. They put so much pressure on that rim.
Davion McKnight penetrates again and knocks down the jumper. He's got 10 first half points. 8-0 run for Western Kentucky. They're up 15 now. It feels like in a blink. Byers to Kinsey. And a foul coming up before the shot. Anderson will pick up his first. Well, we have a good Big Ten college basketball for you tomorrow on ESPN and the app. Trash off their upset of Purdue Michigan State squaring off against number 23 Ohio State in Columbus. Coverage begins 7 Eastern, 6 Central on ESPN. Of course, Ohio State lost to Nebraska yesterday. Kind of a surprising defeat for the Buckeyes. We'll see how they rebound against Michigan State. Kinsey underneath trying to get the dunk to go, and Will and a foul. They're saying that ball is in. Stansberry saying it's not.
That was, you got to give Tavion Kinsey credit. He went in there strong.
They're going to wave it off, I think, now.
Yeah, good little shot fake, attacked the rim. Clearly they called a foul, and it looks like there's going to be 2 shots on the foul. They may have called offensive, or excuse me, the ball went through the hoop, I believe, after the foul had already been called. As strange as that sounds, which I'm not totally sure. I may have to see that one again because it happened so fast, and I'm not sure how the basket didn't count. Okay, so there's the foul. You see Tavion Kinsey was still hanging on the rim, and he let go of the rim. The rim made the ball bounce up into the air, and then the ball went through. So after that second look, I think that is a good call there by the officials.
Jamarion Sharp was also called for a technical foul, though.
Yeah, I certainly didn't see that either. So a lot to digest in that play right there.
And now Sharp dunks on the other end off the pass from McKnight.
And Marshall has had absolutely no answer for the ball screen offense here from Western Kentucky. They tried to play a soft hedge there, and the guards for Western Kentucky are just getting to where they want at will, drawing both defenders, and Jamarion Sharp is just the recipient of easy drop-off dunks. So Marshall's going to have to make an adjustment here on their ball screen defense.
David Sharp now has 12 points. He gets a block there. He's 6 of 6 from the field. And now here's a 3. Sharenitz, no. Rebound Frampton. Timeout taken by Rick Stansberry and Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers are on a 10-0 run over the last 3:39. All tops here in Huntington. We'll be right back.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Crispy fish with that spicy kick. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
USAA is made for the safe pilots, like Sergeant Hayden, who won't return a call until the engine's cool. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. Get a quote today.
43-26, just under a minute to go here in the first half of play in Huntington at the Henderson Center. Here's Cameron Justice. He's got 11 first half points. Western Kentucky being led by Jamarion Sharp, 12 points, 6 of 6 from the field. And look at these 3 guys in double figures. All of them have been incredibly efficient from the field for Western Kentucky. McKnight, the spin, the handoff to Sharp, couldn't handle it.
Western Kentucky shooting 61% in this first half compared to 34 from Marshall. So Marshall, a team that relies on the perimeter, and when those shots are not falling, it's going to be tough to get back into a game when you just simply can't score around the rim.
George trying to get to the bucket. Sharp got his hand through the basket, so they're going to count that for George.
Western Kentucky with a chance to hold for the last shot here, try to increase this 15-point lead, but they've been very, very impressive on offense, and they've been very efficient, but they've been very patient. They haven't tried to force anything. They've stayed with their offense. They've exploited Marshall's ball screen defense. I'd look for this high ball screen here from Jamarion Sharp. Davion McKnight just going to try to go one-on-one to finish the half.
There it is. He misses. Marshall hasn't scored more than 5 minutes. Could have had the last shot. It'll be Anderson, but misses at the buzzer. And it brings us to halftime here at the Henderson Center. On senior night, Western Kentucky trying to quiet the crowd. 43-28. The Hilltoppers on top on the road. They've won 7 of 8 overall and trying to get that 2 seed in the East Division of Conference USA. After the break, Max McGee and Sean Farnham have your halftime report. Western Kentucky dominating on the road. 43-28, Western Kentucky the lead on Marshall at halftime here in Huntington. And one of the big reasons why the Hilltoppers have a 15-point lead at the break is Jamarion Sharp. Almost a 43-28, Western Kentucky the lead on Marshall as we get set for the second half of basketball here in Huntington at the Henderson Center. And one of the big reasons why Western Kentucky's got that big lead is Cameron Justice. You just saw him. He's David Padgett. I'm Jordan Burnfield. Thanks for joining us. We'll see how the second half goes, but between Jamarion Sharp and Cameron Justice, those are the two guys that really propelled Western Kentucky in the first half.
Yeah, there's no question. Cameron Justice, a guy who came into the game known for his three-point shooting ability, only 1 of 4 there in that first half. But every time he put the ball on the floor and got in the lane, he made the right decision. He was able to score off the dribble, had 3 assists to go along with that first half. Just did a really good job of taking what the defense gives him. And when he's left that wide open, as we see right there, he's going to knock that down. But really just played with great pace and just kind of controlled the flow offensively for the Hilltoppers. Offensively in there in that first half, just a very, very solid 20 minutes for number 55 in red.
Justice, 11 first half points, 5 of 8 from the field, also with 3 rebounds, 3 assists. You see between Sharp, Justice, and Davion McKnight, those 3 were a lot to handle for Marshall in the opening 20. We'll see what they have in store in the second half. Justice a near steal. Taylor an open 3 and hits to start half number 2.
And Western Kentucky coming out in a 1-3-1 zone. First time we've seen that tonight. I thought Cameron Justice had a steal. He read that play perfectly. The ball was just out of reach. Naturally, what happens usually in most case scenarios like that, the offense is able to knock it down to Andrew Taylor with a big 3 to start the half.
Davion McKnight knocks down the jumper. 12 points for him now tonight. Marshall goes back to work. Byers in the post against Sharp, has to bring it out. Six to shoot for the Thundering Herd. Taylor has it knocked away by Sharp. McKnight has that one redirected by Byers.
Great job there by Michael Byers getting back. Davion McKnight did a good job of pushing the pace. I thought he was going to get to the rim for that layup, but Byers able to save a basket there for Marshall.
And now the miss from George. And Western Kentucky racing across with Anderson.
Marshall's doing a good job of shuffling different guys into that high post area against the zone. The problem is Western Kentucky's not coming all the way up, so you can't really drive, and if you settle for the jump shot, it's a tough contested jump shot, usually over Sharp's arm. And we see Cameron Justice again, just not settling tonight, doing a great job of getting to the rim, picking up where he left off there in that first half.
And Sharp redirecting another one underneath, but out of bounds, it'll stay with Marshall.
Cam Justice, like we mentioned, a great three-point shooter, but just doing a good job of getting in the lane. That time coming to a jump stop, finishing with the left hand, a difficult finish, but Cam Justice has really been setting the tone offensively there.
Oh, another big block for Sharp, but it comes out. Kinsey the miss, and then Jamarion Sharp rips away the rebound. He's just continuing what he's been doing all night.
Well, Western Kentucky hasn't played a lot of zone this season. They've certainly played a pretty good amount, but for the most part, a man-to-man team. But the way this zone has performed with number 33 sitting there in the middle as the anchor, I wouldn't be surprised to see Rick Stansbury maybe stick with this a little bit more, especially as they get into postseason play.
Western Kentucky has now tied their school record for blocks in a season with 174 after that swat by Sharp. He nearly got another one, but instead it'll be a foul called on the big man.
And that time, Jamarion Sharp came up, he played, but anytime you swat down, even if it's not a foul, the referees are going to call it. As soon as you see that arm come down, you see the block here on the previous possession, just his timing is just so good, and he moves his feet so well. But anytime you come down and swat down like you're trying to spike the ball, the referees are going to call it, and that time, Marshall able to get the foul call.
Look at this lineup we've got for you Saturday. The Blackhawks squared off against the Flyers, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC. North Carolina, Duke. You've heard about that one. It's on ESPN. Then you got Steph and Clay. The Warriors taking on LeBron and the Lakers on ABC. And the main card, UFC 272 from Vegas, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Basically, just get yourself some snacks and park it on the couch for a full day of good stuff on ESPN and ABC and ESPN Plus. Justice again. He has got 15 tonight.
Cam Justice just having his way with this Marshall defense in any type of ball screen situation, one-on-one, just getting to where he wants to go has really been the difference maker. And finally, we see Kinsey able to catch it in that high post with enough space to be able to rise up and knock down that jump shot. I think if you're Marshall, that's the guy you want to continue to try to get into the middle of that zone. He's got the ability to make the shot, but can also put it on the floor and finish over the rim.
Kinsey now with 10 points, and he has been, as Taylor knocks that one down, Kinsey has been one of the most consistent players in the country. Now 61 of the last 62 games, Tavion Kinsey has been able to reach double-figure scoring for Marshall.
And what's really impressive about that is he's not a great three-point shooter. In league play, he's only got 6 made threes, so he scores in a variety of ways, three-point line not being one of them, but he's so athletic, handles the ball so well. If he's able to knock down that 15, 16, 17-foot mid-range jump shot, combine that with his ability to get to the rim, you can see why he's such a prolific scorer.
Seven to shoot now for Western Kentucky. Space for Justice. Hits a three. Cameron Justice now with 18.
And a great job there by Josh Anderson. Tried to attack off the bounce. Good sprint away there by Cam Justice. Great pass by Josh Anderson. Marshall's tried to answer here early in the second half, but it seems like Western Kentucky has an answer of their own each time down.
Kinsey the miss there, and now Anderson along the baseline comes out to the wing. Stops and pops over Miladinovich, and that's true. Anderson now with 9, and Western Kentucky continuing to answer everything Marshall throws at him.
Western Kentucky offensively, Cam Justice has been the difference. 18 points here, continuing to light it up from the perimeter.
Still having trouble wrapping my mind around the fact that this will be it for him at Cameron Indoor. And next year, John Shire takes over as the head coach of Duke. There's Jamarion Sharp saying, get that ball out of here.
And a great play there by Jamarion Sharp. Andrew Taylor was actually trying to throw the lob up, but Sharp didn't bite on it, didn't come up and try to play Taylor. Instead, dropped and saw what was happening, and a great deflection. That's the reason why it wasn't goaltending, because it wasn't a shot. It was actually a pass.
It was
so a great play there by Sharp.
That's right. He gets a steal on that play.
You see Taylor here driving in the lane, and Sharp knew. He just absolutely knew that that was not a shot, and that was a pass, and that is a very, very instinctive play. And Taylor's had success a couple times tonight with that little floater, so for Sharp to recognize that that wasn't a shot, very impressive play.
This time Justice lost the handle, and it comes out to Kinsey, and now Taylor down the floor. He'll take a three and hit.
First time tonight Cam Justice has made somewhat of a mistake there, and Andrew Taylor made him pay. And Marshall, if they can start to heat up a little bit here in this second half from behind the three-point line, it's going to go a long way for them to try to get back in this game, because they just have not had success around the rim. And unless Jamarion Sharp gets in foul trouble, I wouldn't expect that to change anytime soon.
Justice curls it out to Brashear. And now Western Kentucky goes to work with Anderson. Tried to get it inside to Sharp, threw it too fast for him. And now Kinsey. And a chilly killing from distance.
And that's exactly what Marshall's going to have to do. Back-to-back threes here. Rick Stansbury's going to get a timeout. Marshall hanging tough in this game, trying to slowly but surely chip away at this lead.
6-0 run for Marshall on those last two triples. And now here come the Thundering Herd, clawing back into this one, down 11.
The ultimate neutralizer in the game of basketball, the three-point line. Marshall trying to hang tough here in Huntington.
They're grooving here in Huntington because Marshall's on a 6-0 run. And the Thundering Herd trying to get back into this game after they've been down double digits. They're one of several schools leaving Conference USA at the end of this year, planning in June to make a move to the Sun Belt Conference. They've been granted a 10-day restraining order against Conference USA as they make their move. Their AD, Christian Spears, saying, quote, "I'm confident that it is going to get resolved in a very user-friendly way for everyone involved, so I'm not concerned. If we get to that point, we'll definitely dig in." A lot of changes coming in several conferences. Certainly this one is no stranger to a lot of movement. That is the latest on the situation with Marshall.
Not only are players entering the transfer portal, but schools are entering the transfer portal as well from conference realignment. So
that's right. So Conference USA will look pretty different next year, as will several conferences around the nation. Frampton the miss there. Byers the rebound. And now Kinsey racing down the floor and draws the foul.
Marshall starting to tighten up their defense a little bit here over these last couple of minutes. And Tavion Kinsey that time just put his head down and said, "I'm going to get to the rim before Western Kentucky can even get back and get set up." And that is the third foul on Jamarion Sharp. So that is certainly something to keep an eye on here. 14 minutes left in this game. Good job by Kinsey of pushing it. And maybe I'm biased because I'm 6'11", but that, to me, that's not a foul. He held his ground. He stayed in his plane. He didn't swat down. I know you're on the road, but to me, that's a tough one for Jamarion Sharp. Kinsey pushed the pace, give him credit, but he initiated the contact that there was. But nonetheless, third one for Sharp, and Marshall slowly but surely chipping away at this lead. Got it down to 9 here.
8-0 run for the Thundering Herd. Here's McKnight. Tries to get through the lane. It's out of bounds off Marshall. Emmerich Toussaint was there defensively. You can see, though, David, that Marshall's players, there's a new level of intensity. They feel like they've got some momentum here, and they don't want to lose it.
Well, it's amazing what happens when a couple shots start to fall. They've hit a couple threes. That time got to the free throw line, so that offense is starting to rejuvenate their defense a little bit.
Anderson after the clock. Shot will not count. Violation against Western Kentucky. So an empty possession for the Tops.
They're going to take a look at that one. They have the ability to do that on a shot clock violation. If the shot goes in, regardless of where we are in the game, they can go look at it. We'll obviously take another look at it here. It didn't look like he got it off. Yeah, based on the 0 at the top of the shot clock there at the top of the screen. A little hard to tell, but I don't think he got it off. I didn't think he did in real time either, but I'm sure the officials will get a couple looks at this here. But that's a big shot. Now all of a sudden, if he makes that, it's a 12-point game, but no good.
No good. So let's see it one more time. Yeah, just clock at 0 before it leaves his fingertips. So Marshall can cut into this even more. Again, they're on an 8-0 run. And they're within 9. And a Chili Killen finding Kinsey. Tries to reverse court. Byers.
Good
Will
pass.
find Taylor in the corner. Misses the 3. And the rebound to Kozar.
That was a great pass and a great look there. Andrew Taylor wide open in the corner. Wasn't able to knock it down. But this defense has obviously changed now without Jamarion Sharp in the game. Look for Marshall to get the ball into the lane and try to attack that rim a lot more here with 33 sitting on the bench.
Lob underneath. Toussaint the kick. Taylor, the baseline jumper is good. 7-point game. Frampton hits a 3.
And that was simply just a lack of communication there by Marshall. They just did not get matched up. That was not a transition scenario. Western Kentucky walked the ball up the court. You just cannot leave Luke Frampton wide open on the wing. So Marshall there, you got to talk a lot better than that. That is a big 3 and a breakdown there defensively.
Ends a 10-0 run for Marshall. And now Frampton trying to come away with it. Possession arrow will keep it on this side.
I think this crowd would have erupted if they would have given that timeout there to Western Kentucky.
That's right.
Frampton was trying to call it based on that play there in the first half, and they have a little bit of an injury here for Josh Anderson, but looks like he's jogging back down. But good hustle here by Luke Frampton, and good job getting on the floor. It looks like he tried to call timeout, but good job by the officials just going with the jump ball. Marshall retains possession.
Justice, the steal from Byers. Down the floor, swatted away, but a foul is called. Offensive foul against Justice. And it'll be Marshall ball again.
A good steal there by Cam Justice. Tried to go down and lay it in. See if we can get another look at it here, but great activity with the hands. Tried to push in transition. Didn't appear to be a charge in real time, but nonetheless, Marshall ball going back down when we come back.
(57-47). Western Kentucky up 10 on Marshall, but they've made 5 of their last 7 from the field. And you're starting to see some momentum for the Thundering Herd. Andrew Taylor, 17 points, 7 of 11 from the field. He's been really efficient. Obina and Ochille Killen, 13 points, has hit some threes tonight. And Tavion Kinsey's been a little bit quieter, but starting to get hot. He's got 12 in this one. And Marshall not going away here at home on senior night with a nice crowd here in Huntington at the Cam Henderson Center. And we're seeing this Marshall team starting to come alive and this crowd start to come alive. So we'll see what they've got in store. Last year, we point out again that Western Kentucky swept the season series against Marshall, including winning here at home. So you know that Marshall wants to get a victory here tonight. For Western Kentucky, they need the win. They need the win tonight. They could use a Florida Atlantic loss tomorrow, but if they sweep Marshall again, they get that 2 seed in the East Division of the Conference USA Tournament. Taylor, what looked like a lob, hits the rim. Was he shooting that, or was he lobbing that?
That one was a shot, yes.
Okay.
That one was a shot.
Are we sure?
Very sure, because
Okay.
if that was a lob, there was nobody within 6 feet of the basket, so he was only throwing it to the other team. That was definitely a shot.
Very finessed. Very finessed to the rim. He missed it anyway, and now McKnight underneath and gets it to fall. Strong move from Davion McKnight.
Davion McKnight with, you want to say a quiet game, but he's got 14 points, but that is a much-needed basket there.
Byers hits a 3 off the feet from Taylor.
You know, it's amazing. Confidence and momentum offensively are so contagious. The first play of the second half, Marshall looked like they were about to turn the ball over. Well, Andrew Taylor knocked down a 3, and ever since then, their entire vibe offensively has changed. It's amazing. You never want to say we got to rely on shot making for our team to play well, but Marshall's a team that when they are making shots, their defense really turns up and is a lot better because of it. And I think, you know, the fact that they've shot the ball well here over the first 9 minutes of this second half has really rejuvenated them, gotten the crowd into the game. Look to see if that continues here, but Western Kentucky is trying to hang tough, keeping this 9-point lead where it is. See that last possession there, Davion McKnight just trying to get in the lane, and good block there by Marshall. And very, very unnecessary and careless turnover there for Western Kentucky. Just backcourt violation, just not on the same page. So Western Kentucky, as great as they were there in that first half, a little bit out of sync here to start the first couple minutes of this second half, and have to see how long Jamarion Sharp sits over there on the bench for the Hilltoppers.
Since he's been out of the game, it certainly has not helped. The Hilltoppers are so efficient in the first half. There's a lob from Taylor. Toussaint can't finish underneath, and it comes out to Frampton.
You're really struggling to tell whether or not it's a shot or a lob, huh?
Well, that time it was, and Anderson scores on the other end. You know, Taylor's got such a nice finesse up to the rim.
Looks like your floater back in high school, right?
My floater was not so good. That's why I ended up on the baseball team. And now Kinsey. 14 for Kinsey tonight.
In an acrobatic finish there, lost his balance. Wasn't sure if he stepped on somebody's foot. but was able to knock it down. But you see Marshall, they're starting to get the ball in the lane. They know that Sharp is not in there, so it's a totally different mindset. They can go in there free and loose, knowing that they have the ability to score.
McKnight again. Davion McKnight has been such a consistent scorer tonight. And now on the other end, that's whipped down the court. Byers can't finish. Anderson will slow it down for the Tops.
Marion Sharp getting ready to check back in. But Western Kentucky, Davion McKnight, he really just leads the way for this team. He's so calm. He's only a sophomore, which is amazing. He plays like a fifth-year senior.
Oh, McKnight again.
Right on cue, knocking down the step-back three, not known for his three-point shooting ability. Seems like these last couple possessions, when they've needed a basket, they have turned to 20 in red, and it has worked out to perfection. 19
points for McKnight. And now Western Kentucky looking to add. Anderson down the lane, can't finish. Loose, out of bounds to Marshall.
Basketball, a game of runs. Marshall made their run a couple minutes ago to cut it to 9. All of a sudden, Western Kentucky makes a little run of their own, opens this back up to 14. But Davion McKnight just having himself a half here. Just Andrew Taylor goes under the ball screen. McKnight reads it perfectly, steps back, gets that little rhythm dribble, knocks it down comfortably for the Hilltoppers.
Here's Kinsey. Over Sharp for the bucket.
And that time, Marshall kept somebody on the baseline that Jamarion Sharp had to account for. Therefore, he wasn't able to just come up and play Kinsey in that high post. But Kinsey, a guy that really can knock it down. We see Marshall switching it up here, going a little 2-3 zone of their own.
And now McKnight. And a foul call. And we've got a good Big Ten college basketball matchup coming up tomorrow on ESPN and the app, fresh off their upset of Purdue. Michigan State will square off against number 23 Ohio State in Columbus. Our coverage begins 7 Eastern, 6 Central on ESPN. And after the offensive foul by McKnight, Michigan State, Ohio State should be a fun one tomorrow night. And there's Anderson, picks the pocket all alone for the flush.
We were talking about it at halftime. Josh Anderson has really been one of the big difference makers in this game for plays that he has made that don't necessarily show up on the highlight reel. Obviously, a dunk and transition has a pretty good chance too, but just anticipation plays like this. Reading the eyes of the passer, getting the deflection, getting the steal has really come up big. Taking the place of Jarius Hamilton in that starting lineup has made some huge plays in this game.
And a Chili killing the miss, the rebound is Sharp. We talked a couple of minutes ago about Western Kentucky seemingly being a little bit out of rhythm. They got it back. And they are rolling again, have increased the lead back to 14. They 4 of their last 5 from the field. And Jamarion Sharp with that rebound, another double-double, his 3rd of the season. Now 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks in this one. Taylor, coast to coast, and a foul. Brashear will be picking up that foul, his first, but Western Kentucky, a 14-point lead again on the road. Well, the impact of the career of Mike Krzyzewski is truly extraordinary, and his final home game at Cameron Indoor Stadium coming up Saturday against North Carolina in what should be a completely insane atmosphere. We will have that game for you 6 Eastern Saturday on ESPN. Looking forward to watching that one. It's like Carolina-Duke is a game you're going to watch anyway, right? But then to throw that on top of it, that's going to be some kind of night in Durham. Taylor missing the first free throw here. Western Kentucky has built back its momentum that it lost early in the second half. And Marshall trying to see if it's got another run to get this thing closer with 7:25 to go.
In Western Kentucky, a team that lives at the free throw line, He's only shot 2 tonight, but still finds himself up 13 with 7 minutes to play. So,
Justice again.
And I guess when you're scoring at such a high rate like the Hilltoppers are, you know, you're not going to get to the free throw line a whole lot, but you just cannot say enough about the game Cameron Justice has had, just absolutely taking what the defense gives him on every single play and making Marshall pay because of it.
56% from the field are the Hilltoppers, and now Toussaint underneath gets that one to go. You talked about the free throw line. That's a staple of the Rick Stansbury experience as a head coach. Since he took over 6 years ago at Western Kentucky, they've had more free throws than their opponents by the tune of 1,424 coming into tonight. Now in this game, there have been 10 free throws taken by Western Kentucky as Justice knocks down the three. Western Kentucky has taken 2 free throws. I mean, this literally never happens. They're plus 87 just this season, but in Rick Stansbury's 20 years as a head coach, they're over 3,400 more free throw attempts than their opponent has made. So it's kind of crazy to think we're seeing this kind of performance, and it has not at all been from the free throw line for Western Kentucky.
Just to build on that stat a little bit more, in conference play, Western Kentucky has made 215 free throws. Their opponents have shot 167. That is a mind-blowing stat. But yeah, to your point, they've shot 2 tonight, haven't made either of them, and they're still up 15. I mean,
on the road.
An incredible performance on the offensive end by the Hilltoppers.
Now, when you're making your shots, I guess you're not going to go to the line a whole lot. Here's Kinsey. And now it comes out of bounds. It'll be Western Kentucky basketball with 5:24 to go. And Cameron Justice, we've talked about him plenty tonight. 22 points, 10 of 13 from the field, 4 rebounds, 6th 20-point game this season for the 25-year-old Cameron Justice. Newly married, one of the oldest players in college basketball, but he's a Grizzly vet.
Knowledge and wisdom are a very, very valuable thing in the game of basketball.
That's exactly right. You know, sometimes you make that joke. How long has he been there? 10 years? Well, Cameron Justice has been in college for a long time. Here's McKnight on the baseline. Yes.
Well, what makes this Western Kentucky team so difficult to prepare for and play against is you can't focus your scouting report on 1, 2, or even 3 guys defensively. All 5 guys have had an impact offensively at some point tonight for Western Kentucky. And right there, the full display of Jamarion Sharp and his rim protection seen right there. Merrick Toussaint caught the ball in the lane, turned around, saw who was standing there, decided against shooting, almost got called for 3 seconds, threw it out in a little bit of a panic and therefore a backcourt violation. But this has been a very, very impressive performance overall from start to finish for Western Kentucky.
And you're seeing what Jamarion Sharp can do all over the floor tonight. 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks, 6 of 6 from the field. But as you said, David, just the number of plays that he alters, even if it's not going to come up in the stat sheet. Here's McKnight around early for another one. Davion McKnight has been sensational this season.
He absolutely has. There was a lot of talk about him coming into this game, about how well he's played this year. Rick Stansbury gave him all the praise in the world talking to him earlier today, and you can see why. He doesn't play, as we see a great follow dunk there by Tavion Kinsey. Davion McKnight doesn't play like a sophomore. He plays, I said it a few minutes ago, like a 5th-year senior. Just so calm, so collected, doesn't make mistakes. This has just been a really, really impressive performance by the Hilltoppers. It's been a very fun team to watch here tonight.
They have been. McKnight is just a sophomore. Here is Frampton in the corner, missing a 3. Kinsey again. Kinsey now with 20 tonight. A timeout taken by Marshall with 3:26 left, but down by 15. Kinsey's had a good game, but the Thundering Herd trailing here at home on senior night. 76-61, 3:26 to go here at Cam Henderson Center. The campus of Marshall in Huntington, West Virginia. Kids are still dancing even though it's been a little bit of a tough night for Marshall. They started to build some momentum with about 10 minutes left in this one, but then Western Kentucky quelled that, and since then, it has been all Hilltoppers. As Western Kentucky, we said off the top of the show, they need to win tonight. They also need to win potentially Saturday against Marshall to secure the number 2 seed in the East Division of the Conference USA Tournament. Now, if tomorrow night Florida Atlantic loses to FIU and Western Kentucky holds serve and wins this game, they clinch that 2 seed anyway. But they might have to sweep twice, so we'll see. But at least for Western Kentucky's sake, they're getting the job done in the first part of this, which is to win tonight's game, and they're up 15 with 3 minutes to go.
Marshall trying to apply a little full court pressure here, see if they can create an easy one. Western Kentucky doing a good job of handling it, but yeah, not too often you play the same team back-to-back in conference play. Obviously, over the last couple of years with COVID and everything, that was more common than not, but going to be a quick turnaround here over the next couple of days. But you can see the scenarios here. Western Kentucky coming into tonight, controlled their own destiny. Win tonight goes a long way, but you got to think they have a pretty good chance of closing it out at home last regular season game on Saturday.
Here is Justice. Tries to get to the paint again and does. Cameron Justice has put on a show tonight.
He absolutely has. And I didn't know if he was going to try to dribble that back out or throw it up for the lob, but he says, you know what, the game I've had, why not just go ahead and try to finish it? And he does.
And he's got 24 points on 11 of 14 shooting.
I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so. 3 steals in this one. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Some kind of performance for Cameron Justice. I think this guy would have been a GA. Now he's your leading scorer in a big conference game as Early knocks it down from the corner. That one kicks off the foot of Andrew Taylor. Western Kentucky, they lost to Middle Tennessee their last time out. It ended a 7-game winning streak. They're playing really good basketball at the right time. David, we've seen a lot of Conference USA basketball all season. This is a dangerous team. And you're not going to sneak up on people when you're Western Kentucky because of the success that they've had the last few years. When you look at the way that they're trending over the last couple of months, you don't want to have to face this team in the Conference USA Tournament.
Absolutely not. And they'd won 7 in a row before their last game at Middle Tennessee State, who's having a terrific year, by the way. But they were missing 2 starters. That obviously, when you only have 6 rotation players and you're missing a third of that rotation, that obviously has a big impact. So if this Western Kentucky team can get Jarius Hamilton back healthy, if they can stay out of foul trouble, especially Jamarion Sharp, they are going to be a very difficult out in the Conference USA Tournament.
Well, you see the success that Western Kentucky has had. 23 appearances. They've reached the semifinals in 14 of the last 16 Conference USA tournaments. They're in 27-8 record in their last 13 and 4 tournament championships. And it's pretty impressive stuff. Here's Justice. Another one goes. That's a 3 for Justice. And that's a career-high 27 points for Cameron Justice.
It's only fitting, right? I mean, you've made pretty much everything else. You might as well put the icing on the cake. But Cameron Justice has had himself a ball game, has done it all offensively for the Hilltoppers. Because you know what? 8 seconds on the shot clock, why not? Been one of those nights for 55 in red.
He was smiling coming off the floor right there. No reason not to smile if you're Cameron Justice. He has shown it in every way tonight.
Guys on the bench shaking their head too, saying, man, can you believe the night he's having? You gotta love that.
Yeah. I'm sure Rick Stansberry saying, can you just bottle a little of this up? We can use this on Saturday, use it in the Conference USA Tournament. Justice, a career best, 27 points, 12 of 15 from the field. Tremendous performance. And here is our NBA Friday doubleheader to tip off your weekend. We've got Two of the top teams in the East squaring off in our first game, 7:30 Eastern. Giannis and the Bucks take on DeMar DeRozan and the Bulls. Then DeAndre Ayton, the Suns, continue to lead the West. They will host Julius Randle and the Knicks. And our coverage starts NBA Countdown, 7 Eastern, ESPN and the ESPN app.
DeMar DeRozan and your Chicago Bulls.
I'm just saying, this guy really should get strong consideration for the MVP.
Oh, there's no question.
And I'm not saying this because I'm from Chicago. This is
yes,
not
you
me
are.
being
Let's not kid anybody.
Maybe slightly. However, I look at how impactful he has been this year. I know that you wouldn't consider him normally for the MVP. As good a player as he is, he's probably not in the top 2, 3, 4 players, but he's been that this year.
Well, what was the stat a couple weeks ago? He had more games in a row with 30-plus points than anybody since Wilt Chamberlain, I think it was. I mean, it just and he's not flashy. Shoots mid-range jump shots. I mean, just having an incredible season. And Billy Donovan has done an amazing job with that Chicago Bulls team.
He has. And he's making a game-winning shot seemingly every game, which should also help him. Anderson inside and the foul. Josh Anderson now 15 tonight off the bench after the foul on Toussaint.
Josh Anderson has played, this entire Western Kentucky team has obviously played very well tonight, but Josh Anderson has kind of just done a little bit of everything. He's handled the ball, been great defensively, 4 steals, has had a ton of deflections, does a good job on the backboard. Western Kentucky is going to clear their bench a little bit here with just over a minute left, but you know, if you're Western Kentucky, as well as you played tonight, Saturday is a whole new game, so enjoy this one on the ride back to Bowling Green, but you got to regroup because you can't get too complacent this time of year, because when you do, you get knocked off. So they got to be ready for Marshall to regroup themselves. They're going to come into Bowling Green on Saturday ready to go.
A little under 5-hour drive between the two schools, and these two teams will head on the bus, head west to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and they'll do it again at Diddle Arena on Saturday. Another great atmosphere in college basketball as they get set to play there in the final regular season home game for these two in Conference USA schedule. Down under a minute to go. Western Kentucky, you see it. They've got that 2 seed right now. There's the steal. Kinsey the slam. So 24 for Kinsey. Western Kentucky trying to get themselves that 2 seed in the east side of the bracket for the Conference USA Tournament. Foul on Sharenitz, his second. 44 seconds left. You see Justice. A lot of reasons to smile for Cameron Justice. And a lot of reason to smile for Davion McKnight. Between the two of those guys, 50 points.
I think we had a technical foul there on somebody from Marshall. I'm not sure.
Give it to Sharenitz.
Yeah, must have said something to the officials. Not pleased with that foul call on the trap there in the backcourt.
Bailey Conrad at the free throw line. The sophomore from Corydon, Indiana. And now Jalen Butts will go to the free throw line after the initial foul. You see Justice and McKnight, just an outstanding game for those two. And the reason that Western Kentucky is going to pick up win number 18 on the year.
And I thought defensively is where Western Kentucky really set the tone in this game, especially in that first half. They just made it really difficult for Marshall, regardless of what they were trying to do. Obviously, Sharp's presence on the interior was big. But if Western can defend in Conference USA Tournament like they did tonight, they're going to be a really difficult out.
Early scores. Near steal, Kinsey stepped on the line. Just over 30 seconds to go. There's Noah Stansberry, that's Rick's son, bringing it across the floor.
And a good job there, too, of breaking that pressure.
Yeah. Might just be the coach's kid, huh?
Been in the gym a few times, I'd say.
Noah throws it down to Kozart. There's a three from the corner, off target for Tyler Olden. Western bench would have loved that. 3 seconds to go. This is Toussaint underneath to score. And all Western Kentucky has to do is inbound it to win it. 86-72. The final score is Western Kentucky holds serve in a game that they needed to win, and they do. So that 2 seed on the east side of the Conference USA bracket still in play for the Hilltoppers after a win on the road. Coming up next, we'll talk to one of the heroes of tonight, Cameron Justice, set to join us after this in Huntington.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Arby's classic roast beef, adored by billions. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
Hey, bud. Thanks for coming out to cheer me on.
Dad, I'm always here.
I'm always here for you, too.
Okay, go, Dad.
Thanks.
No, everyone's passing you.
Oh, you got it, Coach.
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds. You know, like the sign says.
86-72, Western Kentucky, the victory on the road over Marshall, as we welcome you back inside the Cam Henderson Center alongside David Padgett. I'm Jordan Burnfield, and happy to be joined now by Cameron Justice, who is the hero tonight for Western Kentucky, a career-high 27 points in this game. And Cameron, you were feeling it early in this game. At what point did you feel like this might be your night?
Oh, you know, I think it was just throughout the entirety of the game. I kept getting to my spots. They kept dropping off that ball screen, so I felt like I was getting to a spot where I felt comfortable. And then, you know, the offense was kind of just flowing through me there for a while, and, you know, was just doing whatever I had to do to get a win.
Cam, obviously you come into this game, you're known more as a three-point shooter, not that you can't do anything else, but you had a lot of success tonight getting in the lane, 9 for 11 from the field inside the three-point line. What was the difference for you?
Like I said, they kept dropping off that ball screen package, and the guy was trying to fight over, so I kept getting him on my back. And then I was just getting down to the lane, and like I said, I was just getting to the spot where I felt comfortable, and then just trying to, you know, accomplish what I was trying to do.
Cameron, you came into this game tonight against Marshall, I should say, knowing that you needed to win this game to try to secure that number 2 seed on the east side of the bracket. What does it say about your team, the way that you were able to fight through a little bit of Marshall momentum in the second half? But apart from that, you guys really controlled this game.
I think just the resiliency of our team and the culture. You know, we came in here a little short-handed. You know, last Saturday we go into Middle Tennessee, which was kind of a rival game. We were without Jarius, without Luke. Fortunate enough to get Luke back today, so it gives us a little bit of experience all around the ball. But you know, it was a big-time game for us because it was the next game. We just kind of got a never-quit mentality.
Well, congratulations on the career-high 27 points, and good luck this weekend and the rest of the way.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right, that's Cameron Justice, one of the heroes tonight for the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, who tonight had himself quite the game, 27 points, and so efficient, 12 of 15 from the field, David Patrick.
Well, he really set the tone right out of the gate. Just did a great job, like he mentioned, of taking what the defense gave him. When he was open behind the three, he knocked it down. They sagged off him in the ball screen coverage, and he said, you know what, I'm going to attack and get in the lane. He was able to find guys, finish at the rim, just played under control and with really good pace. Just an incredible performance by Cameron Justice.
And so Western Kentucky picks up the win, their 8th win in 9 games. And Western Kentucky, now with that win, can still get that number 2 seed on the east side of the bracket for the Conference USA Tournament next week. So for David Padgett, my name is Jordan Burnfield. Thanks so much for joining us. Once again, the final score, Western Kentucky 86, Marshall 72. Thanks so much for joining us here in Huntington, and good night from the Henderson Center.